All right, fastest 15 minutes in social media, fastest 15 minutes on the internet. My name is Judson Powell. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you. All right, I want to talk a little bit more about Kemetic spirituality. I'm trying to stay, look, honey, I'm talking to my wife. Honey, I'm trying to stay out of politics. Okay, so now, as a Kemetic priest, I have to talk from our spirituality standpoint. This morning I saw a post when I was reading all this stuff, so I saw this post, and it's from a friend of mine who I admire and I love. All right, so this is so I don't want any negativity to ensue from any of this at all. In fact, what I want is I just want people to open their minds. All right, and the main thing that was going down was that they were talking about mental health. And so immediately, my mind started going through, Kemetic and African spirituality things. And I thought about it from the standpoint of that our ancestors' spirituality taught us self-knowledge and self-wisdom. So I kind of want to explain self-knowledge and self-wisdom, and also being good to yourself. To thine own self be true. Know thyself, and to thine own self be true. So that's what basically what everything boils down to. And I say this all the time. This is not the first time y'all heard me say that. Well, the reason why I say that is because self-knowledge, self-understanding, self-wisdom is the most important thing. Because if there's something wrong with you mentally, you're out of balance mentally, basically the world system, this new world order, what it's been designed to do is to take all the aspects of the human and to throw them off kilter. That's why there's no religion, not one of them, that I will agree with or concur with, and most of them are evil. Why? Because what they try to do is they try to take the focus off of self and put the focus on this other deity or something that's outside of self. So, and I'm gonna use Jesus, just not, no, I'm not doing it just because, but just because more people practice Christianity and a lot of people are familiar. Okay, so now, if I give something outside of me all the honor and all the glory, and I don't give myself all the honor and all the glory, then what happens? I remember Snoop Dogg made a video. I think he was like accepting an award. And he said, like, I'd like to thank me for all the hard work that I did. I would like to thank me for all, for all the early mornings, all the late nights, all the work that I put in. And, people thought he was horrible. But really, that was Kemetic spirituality, whether you realize it or not. And the same thing, my wife, and I've seen posts to this effect. My wife always says, you go out and you work every day and you work hard. And she's like, and then you put food on the table. And she's like, I'm not going to say thank you to Jesus for putting food on my table, because I know that you put the food on my table. So it's kind of difficult. Yeah, my son is showing it to me on his phone. So I'm trying to look at like y'all got to start understanding that all of this stuff, affirmation. I started, even when I was still into Christianity, I used to make my kids say affirmations. I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise. I used to say, I'm so-and-so's child or whatever. But now I can say I'm healthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wise. I am the child of the Most High. And see, that keeps your mental thing clear at all times, because you understand where your bread is buttered. You understand because it all boils down to the universal law. So the universal law of action, in fact, even the slave master, that's what they did. They brought us from Africa in order to fulfill the universal law of action or work or whatever you want to call it, however you want to break it down. So things happen because of you. They don't happen because there's some somebody out in the sky that's doing something. It happens because of you. And everything that happens to you, the consequences and repercussions of everything. And see, that's the other thing, because without understanding you, then we have like a major problem in the United States, and in fact in the world, because people don't have accountability. See, the accountability thing is important, because see, mental psychosis occurs when there is no accountability, and then all of a sudden you become down on yourself, right? And what religion teaches us is to be guilty, to be fearful, to think that we're unworthy, all of that kind of stuff. But you are, or the Most High wouldn't have created you. If you weren't worthy, then why are you here? And we were talking the other night, even about the whole sperm and everything, and we were laughing. We were sitting there laughing because we were like, yeah, you beat the only thing that you ever won in your life. You beat another billion sperm to your mama's egg. And I know we had like weird conversations. But anyway, so that's what we were talking about. We were like, look, hey, I know I'm a winner, because, there were like millions of sperm and I won. And then there was like a report that came out. I don't know how I'm getting off into this, but then there was this report that came out that there's actually a chemical reaction, so that the egg can actually reject sperm that it doesn't want, and it knows the ones that it wants, which is even, and I'm like, I don't know if I can really say that or prove that, or I don't know if they can prove it or say that. But what I'm trying to say is that know thyself. The netters, like, those are not gods. All those, like Mayat and Toph and all of those, those are not, and Tahuti and all of those are not, they're not gods. They're aspects of you. And then I saw a post that said, that when you realize that good and evil, good and evil are you. You are the devil. You are, you are Jesus. All of those things are you. They're just different aspects of you. And then you have to learn the aspects of you. And when you feel one of those aspects getting out of balance, that's when you check yourself. That's how come, so people that live in balance, they very seldom have any psychological problems. Why? Because they don't see, the thing about it is you can't get too high, you can't get too low. Of course, there are going to be peaks and valleys in all of it. There are going to be times, but if you understand yourself, if you have self-knowledge and self-wisdom, just like if you know yourself, then you can use wisdom to bring yourself back into balance. But if you don't know who you are, and you're basing who you are based on something written in a book, based on something that, that doesn't even exist, which is religion. See, people use Jesus as the measure and say, oh, I'm gonna take on the life of Christ or whatever. You can't do that, because you ain't Christ. You can be Christ, but it takes work to become Christ. And see, and then here we go again, because Christ is what? Christ is nothing but your higher self, your enlightened self. It's your enlightenment. And it's not according to anything else that's going on in the world, because everybody's purpose is not the same. Your purpose is not the same as my purpose. My son's purpose is not the same as my purpose. And then I was reading this thing about healing. And I was like, wow, because I first started out, one of the first things I wanted to do, I wanted to heal, be able to be like a faith healer, heal people and stuff like that. And I'll tell y'all that story one day. But anyway, so I just want, the bottom line is that faith and all of that stuff, it has its place, but it's not, it's not the thing is, people have to learn how to put themselves on a path to staying healed. I think I said that right. because my body has been racked with pain. My body has been like, I've spent like months in the hospital, all that kind of stuff. I spent months, on all kinds of different treatments and all that kind of stuff. Well, after a while, you start getting to the point, I've had people tell me I was going to die. I had people tell me I had cancer, that I had multiple sclerosis, all kind of stuff. But the bottom line was that I never allow any of that to permeate into my psyche and be like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Because, my first thing was always, okay, I don't believe this kook. I don't believe none of this stuff that they saying, and it was me that healed me. Even to the point where I would where I remember, like, I was like extremely sick one time. I was laying in the hospital, and I was just repeating, I was chanting, I was meditating my health and my healing, and I was just meditating, and then, I'm serious, they sent a nurse in there and told me I was gonna die, and I was like, I ain't dying. I was like, I don't know who you talking to. I threw the lady out my room. But see, that's and so that was, but it was affirmation, and that's the other thing. And what my friend put in his thing was affirmation, which is part of our spirituality. Affirmation, confirming, affirming that I'm God. See, and it's our Moorish science, because we hate all black people, I see all these people on the internet talking about how they hate the Moors and all this kind of stuff, and the Moors did this and the Moors did that. They were just living. Leave the Moors alone. But they came up with the code. All that stuff that y'all read in the Bible, it's all black folks, and it's all stolen from the hieroglyphs and from the papyrus and from Kush. They stole so much stuff from Kush. Kushites just didn't write a lot of stuff down, but a lot of it is Kushite, straight up Kushite. It's African spirituality. It ain't got nothing to do. But what they did was they flipped the script on y'all. And it's also Masonic. So y'all talk bad about brothers in the Masonic or sisters in the Eastern Star and all of this kind of stuff. Y'all can talk bad all y'all want, but you know what? Every time you go to church and you sit in church, or you go to the mosque and you sit in the mosque and you listen to the teachings that are going down, that's what you're listening to. Whether you realize it or not, if you understood what you're listening to, and that's why I say most imams or pastors or anybody like that, they don't know what they're listening to. They don't even know what they're saying. Some of them do. I'm not saying they all don't, but they don't really care. Especially in the church, because in the church, all they care about is money. They not trying to heal you. There ain't no money. And I told somebody the other day, it's like, there ain't no money in healing you. There's no money in cures. There's no money in healing. There's no money in health. None of that stuff. And that's why they don't care about that kind of stuff. That's why they don't want to give you, they really don't want to give you universal health care and all that kind of stuff. You know why they don't want to? Because ain't no money in it. If I heal you, there's no money in healing you from cancer. But there's a lot of money if you got cancer. And I've done posts on that. Y'all go back and look at some of my old YouTube. I'm talking about years ago. And I used to talk about this stuff all the time. Like cancer. Ain't no money in cancer, in healing you from cancer. There's money in giving you chemotherapy and letting you die from it. There's money in that. So that's why they do that. I'm just putting it out there. There's no money in that. And then what's that one Dr. Sebi one where if I was going to say, so you mean to tell me that you accept, medicine and healthcare from somebody that's trying to kill you? Anyway, I know, right? So think about it. Everything is about you, because you come in by yourself, you die by yourself. but you don't even know yourself. Start learning to know yourself. That eliminates a lot of stuff. Start learning. The first person you gotta love is you. Love you. I teach my kids that every day. Love yourself. That's the first. You don't even have to love me, but if you love you, you in good shape. Anyway, Fast 15 Minutes is up. I love you. Like button, subscribe button. Bye.